Good morning. Good morning. There's going to be lots of audience participation today, so pay attention. You never know when there's going to be a quiz. Let's start with the participation with the opening to page 236 in your prayer book. I'm going to use proper 28 for my opening prayer. If you would all join me. Blessed Lord, who caused all holy scriptures to be written for our learning, grant us so to hear them, read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest them, that we may embrace and ever hold fast the blessed hope of everlasting life, which you have given us in our Savior Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. 2 months ago, Debbie and I started negotiating the prayers and the sermon schedule. I hadn't preached for quite a while, and I was looking forward to it. So she offered today, April 2nd, and I said, sure, not knowing what the lessons were. And so one of the very first things I did after I said sure was I picked up the Revised Common Lectionary, which is my habit, and flipped to today's date in here for year A, and saw it was the resurrection of Lazarus. And I was really happy because that's one everybody knows, and it's one I'm very familiar with. There's lots of good stuff in here. Memorable short phrases like the shortest passage in the Bible, Jesus wept. And things like Jesus saying to the crowd, unbind him, and images of people being unbound from slavery and bondage came to my mind. So there's a lot of good imagery here. I'll be able to preach on this easy. I had it all in my head, and I went to a class, confirmation class, where the bishop asked us to consider different ways to read the Bible. And we started talking about mistranslation, things like differences between the Red Sea and the Reed Sea, so language matters in that instance. And there's also the original Greek that a lot of this was written in. Greek has many words, like 15 different words for love, and they each have different meaning. There's brotherly love and love between husbands and wives, and love of brothers, and the love of God, ever abiding. And in English, we have the one word love. So by using the word love in English, you lose a lot of the meaning from the original text. That was one of the things that got pointed out. And then there's also many different translations of the Bible. And we started talking about that. Some people like the King James Version, which I particularly don't care for because it's hard for me to read. The these and the thous and the saiths and all those things. But it does have its own meaning. And then I realized maybe I better check the Common English Bible, since I'm going to be preaching on this. And so I went to the Common English Bible and looked, and those familiar phrases that I was all excited to preach about weren't there. Instead of Jesus wept, which I envisioned like somebody wailing and tears just streaming and deep emotional response, Jesus began to cry. Similar, but not the same thing in my mind. Jesus teared up. And then one of the other key things I was looking forward to preaching about was how Jesus was going to release us from bondage to sin and bondage to death, and by unbinding us. And the words unbind him turned into untie him.
Similar, but not the same. Untying, I think of maybe even a child's game, just I'm trying to untie a knot. So I thought about it for a couple of days and called Debbie. Debbie, I need your help. And so it began a 55-minute conversation. Don't worry, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But I thought the solution was pretty simple. I said, couldn't we just replace a couple words, use some of the NSRV, the New Revised Standard Version's language, and the Common English Bible's translation? And she reminded me that we had chosen to use the Common English Bible for a reason, and that reason was so that we would get out of the unfamiliar and begin to pay attention to the language, and we would learn something out of the experience. And I said, well, I guess you got a point, and you are the boss, so I'm stuck. Everything I preach about this, but it's not there. And she suggested maybe we focus on the different versions of translations from different versions, and pointed out a resource that I'd never heard of called the Bible Gateway. It's available online. You can see different passages of the Bible side by side in different translations. You can choose the Common English Bible, the New Revised Standard Version, and the King James Version, and line them up side by side to see what they look like and how they're different. So we thought it would be fun to maybe act out 3 different versions here to let you see differences. And the more Debbie and I started talking about the differences, the more I was drawn to the similarities. So that should be a key to when we act these things out. Look for differences and similarities. We're going to start with the Common English Bible version. Having said this, Jesus shouted in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out. His feet and hands tied and his face covered with a cloth. And Jesus said to them, "Bethany, untie him and let him go." I'm sure they probably used a knife. We wanted to be safe. So untie him and let him go. Thank you for doing that. And then I looked at the King James Version. And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." And he that has died came forth. Lazarus, come forth. Bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto them, Robin, loose him and let him go. And then the version that I had wanted to preach on, the New Revised Standard Version. When he had said this, he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in the cloth. Jesus said to them, "Barbara, unbind him and let him go." And Carol, help her, please. Yes. I'd like to thank the Lazaruses, or is it Lazari? I couldn't find a plural on the internet, so I'm saying Lazarus. Who are good sports without any practice. You probably could tell. And for the folks that helped us unbind and untie and loose. And because they didn't know they were going to be called on. So thank you for doing that. Very brave. So, who noticed some differences in the different passages?
The thing that they were bound with was different.
Right, some were bound with strips of cloth, some were bound with gray clothes, and some were bound with napkins or just cloth. Other difference? There's one big one.
The word tie, loose, and third one.
Unbind. That's exactly right. Unbind him, untie him, and loose him. How about some things that were the same?
They all had message. Lazarus is free.
The same message exactly, so that's when you can get behind all the different words. You see the similarities. That the real purpose of the story was to show that Lazarus had been freed from death. And another one, if anybody saw. Emily? You can just say it really loud from there, honey.
There were different colors in cloths on people's heads, and there were different colors of bandages on their hands and their feet.
Yes, there were different colors for sure.
Mike?
Yes.
In in all cases, someone had to assist in untying them. It isn't like they broke through themselves.
Right. And it's correct. And another similarity that stems from that is Jesus asked for that to happen.
Can you tell us the microphone what Mary just said?
Yes, Mary said that one of the similarities was that people had to help unbind or untie or loose them. They didn't just do it themselves with a lot. The crowd had to get involved. And a similarity I noticed was that Jesus asked for that to happen. People didn't spontaneously just do it. His corpse walks out of the grave and is all bound up, and the many people were afraid. And Jesus had asked them to please unbind him and let him go. And that was another similarity. Each one of those passages said, let him go. Loose and let him go. Unbind and let him go. So the letting him go part is a big part of it. I think that's important. By looking at the different versions, I was therefore able to get out of my set, this is what I'm going to preach on, and get deeper into the text and learn something. That this really probably isn't a story about the resurrection of Lazarus, per se. It's a story about resurrection and what that means, how it sets us free, and that as Christians, we believe that the resurrection is promised to us through Jesus, and that's good news. That good news sets us free from bondage of sin and death. That's the basic good news of the story, folks. It's the good news of the whole New Testament. Jesus sets us free from death. Like the crowd in today's gospel, Jesus calls on us to respond to our freedom by sharing that good news, sharing it with all those we meet who remain bound by sin and fearful of death. We are the crowd. We're supposed to untie, unloose, and unbind. In baptism, we have promised to proclaim the good news of Christ, the good news of the resurrection and freedom from death, by word and example. In other words, to live as people who are free from death. That's not as clear. What's it look like to live free from death? So I like to have examples in my sermons, and I started thinking about this at home and asked Todd, can you think of anything? And the first thing that came to both our minds was Yvonne, and I asked for her permission to talk about her today. That she's somebody that I know that is low income. She's a blue-collar laborer. She cuts hair for a living and doesn't make a whole lot of money. She takes care of her grandson, an added expense and responsibility. And yet she's called and responded to that call to feed the homeless downtown every week for 3 years. Despite financial hardship, she told me about things that she personally had to give up so that she could afford to do that. Until one day when God answers prayer and her church steps forward to help her with some of that financial burden. But to me, stepping forward in response to help the brothers and sisters in love, regardless of what it does to you financially, is an example of living free from death. And I thought about other things. I thought about this place and the experience that we had 2 years ago when we began to think about what our future would look like. We started a conversation with the Lutheran Church about a shared pastor. Didn't really know what to call them, if they'd be a priest or a pastor or a minister. When you share with Lutherans, who knows? But we were worried about our own budget at the time. And despite those worries, the group that was making the decision came together and said, you know, we want a full-time priest. We're going to step forward in faith, knowing that as long as we keep doing what God wants us to do, the resources will be there. And so we called Debbie. And that leads me to another example. And I didn't ask for permission for this because you all know the story. Debbie and Jeff came here from Minnesota, a place they had lived their whole life, leaving family and friends, everything familiar, to come into a strange place, a very strange place. For a job that might not clearly be financed well into the future. But that was a faith response, regardless of personal fear or everything that was involved in that decision. They stepped forward to do what they believed God was calling them to do. And to me, all those are great examples of what it means to live unbound from the fear of death. Because when we know that we have eternal life through Christ, the risks that we take in this life are all small. It makes it a little easier to live day by day when you have the promise that in the end everything's okay. And it really is. Because of Jesus. Amen.